What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another realistic style rebuild on Madden 22. And today, it is of the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that just got done having, well, back-to-back first overall picks. I don't know if it's quite 0-16 like the Lions, but it's a pretty spectacular feat. Of course, the first overall pick for months, well, I guess I can't even really say months, but weeks, was kind of up in the air. Didn't really know what it was going to be. I think it was a tackle for months, and then we got done last month, and it was, is it going to be Aiden Hutchinson? Is it going to be tackle? And then that final week and a half, it just became Travon Walker every day of the week, just out of nowhere. Maybe not out of nowhere, he was climbing up the board, but just, number one, there was no denying it. And that's who they took. Of course, they also landed Devin Lloyd, but a little bit of a shock kind of release, if you will, with Myles Jack. So they kind of just replace Myles Jack with a different linebacker, which, it's kind of like one step backwards, one step forward, maybe even two step backwards, one step forward. They got Fortner, the center, who is 24 years old, normal development trade. Lawrence is staying at superstar for us here, which you can debate star. I'm not going to force a dev to star here from a guy that maybe he is, but James Robinson, a guy that was underused last season, which I think was also another part of the reason why, you think of that team as like tons of potential, just not used right. The fact that James Robinson wasn't getting as much carries as he should have early on kind of proves that, right? ETN, injured his rookie year, going to come back here strong for us, hopefully. I don't know what I want to do with him. Maybe put him as, the number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver or something, because in Madden, sure, he's a good running back, but he's probably never going to start over James Robinson. He's just going to be a backup. And in real life, they're obviously going to line him up all over the place. It's kind of the whole point of grabbing him. Christian Kirk is at the number 1 spot for us, even though, they paid him X wide receiver money. Is he actually that guy? I don't know. I still think this team probably should target a wide receiver again in free agency or in the draft. Marvin Jones, a very solid receiver, has been for several teams now. Of course, offensive line, plenty of work needed, but Brandon Sheriff, not a bad contract. Even Christian Kirk, I know he's overpaid super hard, but for once again, you got to add that Jacksonville luxury tax. And it is a front-loaded contract. So when you're thinking of, this team's not really ready to win now, so making a mistake on a contract like that isn't going to kill you while you're developing anyways. And obviously, if it turns out that, you become a good team and he isn't that guy, because obviously they're not going to be ready to go this season or even next season probably, you got Christian Kirk, who you can get rid of pretty much. So you, of course, have Aluakun, who was a pretty hefty contract. Hopefully he's a god tier run defender for us. Obviously, you have Travon Walker. Tufele, this guy has potential. 22 years old, rookie. 64 power move, 66 finesse, 72 block shed, 88 strength. Young, has potential. Darius Williams is a decent signing for them as well, but I want Tyson Campbell to get going, so I'm going to put him at number 2. Yeah, this team needs a lot of work, and speaking of a lot of work, I need to work on getting a new graphics card, because this is post... it's like a day after post failed rebuild in a way, as I already recorded a Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild, and it was all right. And yeah, the whole thing corrupt. It was all messed up. The worst part is it's not like I could see it coming. I literally couldn't see it coming at all, and I'm really worried it's going to happen again. I'm going to be furious. I was pissed. And the reason why, I look at that Tufele guy as a decent player is he developed really nicely for us. Of course, never really got to like some super high overall, super high dev, super high sack totals, but he got to 89 power move. It was crazy. But yeah, of course, just like that rebuild though, this one starts with a Travis Etienne development scenario, which is going to get him to superstar, which is crazy to think already, but wait, what? Okay, yes, I was about to say, I thought I seen something like he's got a gray head on his shoulders, but he sucks ass or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, okay. Of course, I'm going to go for the pity sub. I don't care. If you guys enjoy franchise and you think you're going to like this video, it's weird to say, like, leave a like and subscribe, because, like, how do you like the video if you haven't even watched it really yet? But just for my pain and suffering, because I will admit, I was probably more mad than I've been in so long. Lost a Nighthawks video and a 4-hour rebuild. Pissed me off. Maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. It means a ton to me, and of course, if not for the pity, maybe for the franchise content. That's the one. The one thing I really want to do in this rebuild, though, which isn't really even technically a part of the rebuild, is I really don't want to mention the last rebuild too much. I'm going to try my very best to forget about that even though it's in my heart still. All right, I said I wasn't going to mention last rebuild too much, but I'm going to already do it as Evan Ingram re-signs here, but we did not have the money to do so on the other one. I didn't manage the team as well as I did here, and we were super broke early on, but here, and we have Akeem Hicks. When did we get him? Literally, when did we get him? And the worst part of this is we literally suck anyways. I also don't know how much money the Jags have, but wouldn't crazily surprise me for him to actually join the Jags. All right, I hate this team. We did go 6-11, but we were on par for much worse than that. We were looking for, like, we were front runners to actually have the #1 overall pick again, and instead we kind of win some games, and we are like pick 8 now, which is kind of unfortunate. But let's take a look at the season. I'll show you the actual record, but for now, let's take a look at the players. Chenault, the #1. How? Of course, Evan Ingram, really good season. Marvin, not bad, actually. Kirk, not terrible. But Chenault, I'm going to bring it up again. Chenault wasn't very good for us in the other one. Travon Walker, 11.5 first year. Not bad. Wow, okay. Santoso, maybe we re-sign him. I mean, that's not terrible. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. See if we got any Lamar Jackson, the MVP of the league. Travon Walker, Rookie of the Year. We'll take it. Jarvis Landry apparently is on the Chargers in this universe. So it's the Falcons in the Super Bowl. And the Falcons win it all. EA is on something. And I mean, I would like to try, but I feel like I'd overdose because it's something strong. Of course, looking at the offense, no dev-ups, unfortunately. Not even Chenault. Defense, a few dev-ups, actually. The biggest one of them all. Shaquille Griffin going to superstar development trade. Massive dev-up. Of course, Cisco as well, and Tyson Campbell as well. It's nice. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Crap. Yeah, Devin Lloyd is probably some people that wrote a comment already saying, I don't want to type on my keyboard because I'm scared I'm going to freaking end the recording or do something bad. I was going to... Devin Lloyd's not a star plus for you? Packers fan Quay Walker, that's why. Wants to be the best. Like, no, dude, I kind of forgot. But let's go into free agency. I think we have pretty much all the guys re-signed that we want re-signed. And honestly, with a couple of decent wide receivers on top of the board where he goes in a real-life class, and this one is... I don't want to mention line rebuild too much, but I didn't in that one. Okay, long story short. There's some decent wide receivers, and we absolutely need a new wide receiver. Chenault plays the slot, but could we not have him in the slot? Even though Santoso is not a really good-looking player, he kicked pretty well, so it's not going to be a lot, but still a 2-year, $3 million deal for a kicker that could literally just be unemployed. I mean, I'd take that every day of the week if I'm him. And, of course, Akeem Hicks shouldn't even be here, and we can't really afford him regardless, so going to act as if that never happened. And honestly, because we sucked anyways, I wish it did never happen. Free agency, though, very weak, obviously, as expected. Nothing really going here. Jarvis is a superstar. Julio, I mean, we really need a wide receiver that bad. I think Marvin Jones actually could be releasable for us. Kind of depends on what we see in the draft. If there's actually, the wide receiver is the #1 thing that we look at and decide to take, we'll probably look to get rid of him if we can. But if not, might just keep him around another year. He wasn't bad, obviously, and yeah, most of these guys just aren't worth grabbing. So we end up with pick 8, and there are a couple of names that we have used in previous classes. I'm trying to go with something new if we can. I don't think we've had any of the wide receivers. I also don't know if I want one of the wide receivers. Butte, I don't know if this guy actually is the #1. I thought it was Jackson, to be honest, but I don't know. In this class, he's not. Round 1, B. I mean, he looks good, right? He's giving me like Devontae Smith vibes, size-wise and all that, but I don't know if that's going to be my choice. You also have Breesy, who is good. D-line is still a thought. A lot of talks about how Jacksonville has a ton of defensive linemen, but they're not really that good. You might have a lot of them, but they're not necessarily good. Safety is a huge need, but we do have a 2 to 3 round guy and a day 3 guy that we can go with if we need to. I think if you look at what we need the most, wide receiver is up there, tackle is up there. I mean, O-line in general is up there, but Paris Johnson does look very good. I don't know if I'm willing to trade up because there's so much talent here. Bryce Young, 1 overall to the Giants. Stroud, #2 overall to Washington. Houston goes wide receiver. I like the way this is going so far. Very realistic. Will Anderson, I will say, very realistic in the sense of what the teams need. From what I've, seen, Will Anderson is like clear-cut the best player, but, it's quarterbacks are obviously hands down number one. Wide receiver is up there. We've seen the run that happened this last draft in real life. Will Anderson is great, but that wide receiver, you can't really blame it either. Tight end, very talented. Cleveland kind of needs a tight end a little bit. Ringo, cornerback to the Giants. And then number 7 is Breesy, which I think that pick kind of makes this pretty easy, as I was almost guaranteed to go for him. I'm honestly thinking this is Paris Johnson for us. But at the same time, adding another weapon. If you see Chenault as that number 3, Marvin Jones isn't a long-term option. Lineman is a huge need, but you can see that the team is willing to slowly develop, as they obviously did kind of let the line go a little bit last season. This is a tough call. I think I'm going to go with Nijba. I don't know if that's how you say his name. I'm very scared of getting canceled. I'm just going to call him Jackson Smith. Jackson Smith is the choice. Hidden development trait, 92 speed, 80 excel, 92 agility, 95 change of direction. Does he only have 84 jumping? I mean, from what I've heard great things. That's all I can tell you. And we do have 2 linemen still here. I'm feeling really happy with that decision now, as we could go with Matthew Jones, the guard, probably the more immediate need, whereas we have 2 tackles that probably should be replaced at some point, but can't physically due to money situation. I like both of them. I think Walter Parks is a little less athletic, but I also think he's a little bit potentially more guaranteed, although we do know about Matthew Jones. I mean, they're both really not athletic. I don't know if I want to trade up, though. Now, this is a lot of risk because we're kind of going under the presumption that we're going to be better, or the assumption that we're going to be better next season, which isn't guaranteed, but we're going to make the trade a 2nd round next year and our 3rd round this year for pick 33 from the Bears, keeping pick 8, maybe getting crazy and double down on linemen. But I think the bigger need is Matthew Jones, the guard, so we're going to grab him, and I'm pretty sure he's hidden. Yeah, I mean, in general, the CPU classes are actually probably more prevalent to have these hidden development trait players than the user ones, to be honest. After maybe the 1st or 2nd round, the user drafts don't really have that much going for them in the terms of offensive linemen. But speaking of players, absolutely need a safety. Jaquarius Conley is decent. He's 6'4". I'm trying to think of what we have currently. Don't know a whole lot about this guy, but he's decently athletic. I suppose if I was going to go with one or the other, Conley definitely would be the guy. And I'm honestly going to trade up again and take him. We cost ourselves a 2nd round next year, but if you're going to land what you feel like is for sure talent, which looking at their potentials, it sure seems like that, I don't think there's really a price that's too high to pay. And they're going to take this. I'm not sure if this is fair. It's only 6 spots, but I mean, we gave it to them. They took it. I mean, we don't have any of the traits yet. Obviously we just created this character, so we don't have any of those traits of like making trades easier or anything like that. So it should be deemed as fair. Really tough to pass on Parks, who once again may be hidden. Tim Smith, don't know a whole lot about him other than the fact that he's super strong. What else do we have? Eli Ricks is a guy that I was kind of potentially looking at. If he's there in the 3rd round, I may make another trade, which, I mean, we're getting a little crazy, but as far as the best available players go, I think Conley tops the list, and it's easily the number 1 remaining need. So Jaquarius Conley, Cam Chancellor vibes, going to be the automatic starter. Cisco, because he's more athletic, might actually play free. Hey, Peyton Wilgar, the guy they always talk about in the prospect spotlight. I don't even know if he's good, but Alfred Collins, interesting. For a left end, he's got really high strength, but I don't think that's enough for me to take him. So we're going to go to pick 8 in the 4th round. I'm happy with what we got. Maybe even turn this pick into like a 3rd next to try and cover up that 2nd round we lost. Damn, that guard is gone. Damani Richardson. Not a bad athlete at all. Pretty huge as well. 6'1", 210, prototypical beast. Man, I think he's good. We could use the depth for sure. 4th round pick, I'm going to grab him. I want the depth. We're going to grab him. And he's hidden. I did not know he was going to be hidden. That may be like a sneaky, I mean, if somebody can play corner, I'm down. Obviously, we don't really need a corner this season, but I'm just kind of thinking of the future. We're going to need a new number 3. We're going to possibly need a new number 1, and we don't know if Tyson Campbell's actually going to develop or not, so yeah, you can kind of see why we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. The Vikings are willing to give us a 4th and a 7th next year. I mean, of all the teams giving us 4th-round picks, they're probably the most expected to be bad, which, I mean, none of them are really bad in my mind, so didn't really have much of a choice but to take a team that's likely to be a good squad. And the Vikings are going to give us a 5th as well. So, I mean, they're making plays for this year. We're going to take a wide receiver, C.J. Johnson. I think I've seen this. We've actually chosen this guy before, but I don't think he's ever done anything for us. So either way, just adding, you know, some depth. So we had 3 kickers with good kick power. This one, though, was the one with the highest accuracy potential, so that's what we're going to take. Burkich. 93 kick power. I mean, he's literally the same, if not better than Santoso already. And then in the 7th, the later 7th round pick, if there's a punter, we'll go for that. We're going to go with the fullback, Deneen, instead, because all the punters except for one were good or below. And that one was good, at least. Weird way to say it, but good. 23-year-old punters, you know, could do better. I'm not really too pressed. Of course, looking at the squad, 75 overall, 72, 73, 69, 67, not really, 72. I mean, not terrible. I would have loved to add one more lineman, maybe a defensive lineman as well, but we added safeties, which we needed desperately. We added a lineman, which we needed desperately. A wide receiver, we definitely could have used. I don't know what his development trait is, but I'm hoping it's superstar, because like I said, I want Chenault to be the number 3. Even though he had a really good year, but that was at the number 3 spot, and oh my, we have no positions. Superstar, no numbers anyways. Matthew Jones, I'm trying to think of our line. Do we have a need for right guard? I mean, we need upgrades. I just don't know if there's like any guy that's like worse than the other, but Conley, automatic starter, strong safety. What number is he wearing actually? 34, it's not pretty, but I mean, we're desperate at numbers right now. Number 14, oh my lord, it's disgusting out here. But was there anything I was going to do? I don't want to, like, spoil it for myself, so no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to look. We drafted a decent player, amount of players in this class, but you can see even in this one, we grabbed a couple of new names. So year 2 roster without our own 2nd-round pick. It's not quite the 1st-round pick, but it's still, if we were to suck, would be a bit of a sucky one, but obviously we got a starting guard out of it. Ben Barch, I know he is actually a guard, but he's less athletic, and he's just not as good in general to be playing the guard spot. He's a finesse blocker, which is kind of weird because, he's an interior guy. But looking at the wide receivers, 3 really, well, I wouldn't say Kirk is really young, but he's young enough. That's what she said. Really good young wide receivers. We have Evan Ingram here, which is, he's a really good player. If he plays really well again next season, maybe we give him superstar dev. Running back, James Robinson was decent enough. Lawrence is decent enough. Corners were solid enough to each get a dev up. Same with Cisco. And that was pretty much it. Tufele, really hoping for a breakout this season, as he's fallen far behind the other one. I'm just going to be honest. Ooh, Trevor Lawrence, X-Factorious. No! It's a different universe. No, Jay! It was destiny to happen again, and it doesn't. James Robinson kind of averaging 4.3 yards per carry again, which, I mean, that probably doesn't even put him in the top 10 or very close to the top 10. So a 5-year 40 for those, limited types of... he's a limited back, right? Like, he's a power back. He's not going to be able to break off huge 50, 60, 70-yard runs that, a lot of teams obviously covet. Josh Allen, we decided not to go with the, what is it called? I mean, he didn't have a great year. We decided not to go with the, yeah, I know. It's hard for me to do math, so I did this instead. But it's hard to go with the 5th-year option, so we decided not to. Jawan Taylor is an interesting name because we can replace him, but should we? 8 sacks allowed last year, only halfway through the year this year, and he's easily on par to pass that. I don't know. I might let him go. So a much better season this year. Of course, it probably helps the fact that we did add quite a bit of talent, especially the receiving group bunch of young, great players. I mean, look at that offense. Number 1 in pass, points per game. Number 2 in pass yards per game. Everything else kind of sucky, though. I actually completely did forget to show you guys the win-loss last season, but to be honest, it really didn't matter too much because we kind of sold the pick, to be real. I mean, that wide receiver wasn't bad, but it's not super hard to grab a wide receiver and develop them anyways. You know, if we would have got Breesy, yeah, you can make that argument, but kind of not, right? Of course, Trevor Lawrence, really good yards, solid touchdowns, and really good interception total. James Robinson, once again, 4.4 yards per carry, but 17 touchdowns. Hey, those numbers are sick. ETN, not playing well. Kirk, though, that's got to be superstar. Chenault, maybe superstar. Jackson, I mean, he's already a superstar. Evan Ingram, good, not good enough, in my opinion, to go to superstar, though. Defensively, 11 sacks for Travon, 12 for Josh Allen, 4 interceptions for each of the linebackers. I mean, this is a pretty good year. The kicker, that's why we only gave him a 2-year deal. Let's take a look at the MVP awards, and really, number 3. It's still a good year, but damn. We got Rookie of the Year on offense, best quarterback, best wide receiver. It was, I mean, what can you ask for? The bye week with a very solid season. The Colts, who are 9-8, just like everyone else in the division somehow. Not bad, but 9-8. Okay, I mean, they have a similar team in rating, so I suppose all that matters is you get here. After that, it's all up for grabs, right? I will say, I don't want to keep talking about it, but if you're comparing this rebuild to the last one, we didn't make the playoffs in year 1 or 2. Year 3, we barely made it with 10 wins, and then year 3, 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly what the records were and all that, but 24-7, the Colts are kind of embarrassing us as we can't stop a soul. 31-14, I mean, an okay try at the end, but 31-21, the Colts, who beat a team, obviously, to get there in the wild card to get to the divisional, beat us. Of course, Trevor Lawrence was much better than, maybe not much better than Matt Ryan, because you look at the touchdown to pick ratio, but when you compare that to a rushing touchdown for Matt Ryan as well, 4 rushing touchdowns in general, you're like, okay, well, that's why. Gronk is there. Kirk, oh, man, that's a very disappointing way to end the season. Absolutely awful. So once again, they're 9-8, dude. Golds do make it all the way to the Super Bowl as well, and they lose to Washington. Thanks for stealing our spot. Love you. Of course, looking at the dev-ups. Ooh. We actually got all the dev-ups. None for James Robinson, but he must have been close because that was a lot of touchdowns. Superstar for Kirk, who I will admit did not get to Superstar ever in that other rebuild. He was good, but never got to Superstar. And then Chenault, who never got to Superstar, is already Superstar. Lawrence only got to X Factor last... Oh, I forgot he actually got it like mid-season. Only got it last actual season, where he obviously has it much earlier here. Aluakun never had Superstar either, and here he is with Superstar. So the trajectory is better, but I will say the D-line is much worse here, as Tufele needs to probably be replaced, which... Again, he was actually a really good contributor for us. Josh Allen, superstar development trait. All right. I mean, safeties are good. Corners are good. Linebackers are good. You definitely need to add a defensive lineman. Right tackle is something we need to add. I mean, Jawan Taylor's okay, but do I actually want to pay him? Of course, waiting as long as we did also is going to cost us more if we decide to actually pay him here. 10 sacks allowed. I mean... You can see where you would want to keep him in real life, but here in game, I mean, you're not looking at the greatest spot. Robinson obviously can't get rid of yet because they gave him a pretty big deal in real life, but we're going to risk it. We're going to save the money. Maybe we find someone better or similar, maybe younger for around the same price, or we just get a good rookie. As even though we did get to the playoffs, we should still have enough capital to, even if we have to, move up to like 18 or something and just land a starter. I don't know, but... Negotiations, I think we have pretty much everyone. Like I said, Jawan Taylor is a name that maybe you don't let go, but I think we can do better, though. 10 sacks allowed. It's not crazy money, though. 8.5 per isn't bad for a 25-year-old tackle, but, well, we let him go, so kind of hoping for a name here. Let's see the names. Quentin Nelson, yeah, that's maybe not the name I was expecting. Lamar Jackson, Rashawn Gary, Deron Payne. The problem with this is I would expect him to be a $20 million guy. Also, the other problem is he's not really a pass rusher, which if we're going to go for a defensive tackle type, that's kind of what we need. Cornerback, too early for us. Montez Sweat, don't need it. Nate Davis is technically a guard. I wouldn't say we sold, but I definitely don't think we're going to get a lineman here. Damn, only one team wants him, and it's Dallas. Now that Dallas wants him, I want him back. Oh, man. I mean, it's kind of the same money anyways. I should have probably kept him, to be honest. I just think we can do better, and paying linemen is just not a good thing to do, it seems. If we get him, we get him. We don't, we don't. I don't care. Yay, he's back. Jawan, he chose us. He loves us still. Yay. Of course, still could use a left tackle for the future as Greg Robinson, or Cam Robinson. Oops, wrong guy. Not really it. Not bad, but 27 definitely has a lot less potential than Jawan Taylor does. Everyone else on the line, though, seems good enough. Receivers are great. Defensive line is probably the biggest need. So if we see a great tackle early, we'll maybe grab him, but defensive line probably is the biggest need. So we gave up 28 and 104 this with 104 next year for 21. If you were to project that 104 to actually be like 125 or something like that, or 120 based on playoffs, it's very even instead. It looks very good on their side with the 104, but obviously we're not projected to be 104 next season. But yeah, with pick 21, they took a DT, the Cowboys, that is. The other DT looks good. I don't know how great he looks, but a B block shed, C finesse, B power, 22, 481 with a 37 bench press reps. He looks very athletic, which is what this team is needing. They have all these nose tackle types that are just good at block shedding. You also have this guy, Maurice Jefferson. Don't know as much, but you have that A tackle, weaker but more athletic. You have Pickett, who looks like a decent corner based on his 40 time and all that, 4.37. As a 6'3" guy is insane. Left tackle Lance Bernard. Oh, maybe he's not as good as I thought. Okay, never mind. Looking at, to be fair though, the thing is, we can't trade down because we just traded up. That would look pretty dumb, right? But we could use a tackle. Maybe not this soon, but maybe we go for Eric Vickers, early third or something like that. A bunch of Bs here. This guy looks like he can't miss, but I think we're going to take a risk on the DT because we desperately need D-line. So, Stephon Brennan, gimme. Give me a refund. Of course, we don't know how good that Cowboys guy is. I think I probably would have taken Brennan regardless, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe the other guy's hidden. Didn't really have much of a choice technically, though, because you got two DTs that look very similar. I'm obviously not going to choose one or the other, over the other. I'm just going to let it happen. And Eric Vickers, the center, is kind of stuck at center, but currently our center is technically a guard. He's a big guy, so it can never hurt to have a good player in general. This guy looks rough, but obviously the fact that he is 6'7", and 38 bench press reps is usually good enough for me. We trade 92 and Fortner for pick 65. Obviously, Fortner is not a bad player. It's just, he started old, and we obviously have picked up better linemen who have a higher ceiling. And yeah, let's take Mr. Eric Vickers. Taking a little bit of a risk, but look at the grade. The college pro day looks insane, and just good enough ratings from what we can see. Give us a good, wow, another normal, especially a lineman that looks so clear cut. This has not been a good draft for us, I'll tell you what. Baltimore's going to give us a 4th and a 6th next year for this pick. I'm going to take it, and with the next pick, I'm probably going to take that undrafted projected DT because he actually doesn't look that bad for an undrafted. He's super strong, and his potentials aren't crazy bad. He could be a sneaky little steal. As you can see, a B block shed, C finesse, B tackle. You can almost argue that he's better than the first-round guy we took just based on potentials, but we're going to grab him, see what we get, and normal, but 72 speed, 93 strength. It can't hurt to grab him. And the Falcons and Colts are willing to give us a 4th round for this pick. Absolutely, thank you. Minnesota's draft picks have been really kind to me. Of course, it's only a 5th-round pick, but early 6th still can't get any worse than 32, so there's that. And now let's take a couple of, Jameson Williams, they got him. They got the speedster. Let's grab some depth. So here's the players we drafted, and 75, 72, 74, actually. That's a really good overall. We're not going to look at those other players. The depth guys don't really count. But Stephon Brennan, obviously want to compare this guy to the Cowboys guy, but this guy has potential. He's got swim move. I don't really care about that, to be honest. But 93 strength, 78 block shed, 77 power move. Pretty damn athletic. You know, play Rex decent. He's got a good base. He just needs a breakout, which, once again, unless your superstar are better, being normal sometimes, especially on the defensive line, can be technically a blessing. Of course, this offensive line might be a low overall, but he's actually really good. Only thing that sucks is he's 6'3", so with all that athleticism, it kind of gets taken away. Of course, Nate Matthews, similar to the guy we just grabbed, but obviously has no pass rush ability, but he's a good block shedder. I mean, he's not the best player he could have had, but he's also definitely not the worst, especially considering where we took him. But Jalen Allison, also normal development trait, 2 better strength, way worse power move, worse block shed, not as actually he's a little bit more athletic, but similar enough, but I definitely would not trade that guy for our guy at all. No chance. All right, Season 3, the team looking really good on the offensive side of things, at least in the skill position department. You know, really good wide receivers, solid running backs, great quarterback. I'll throw Evan Ingram in the mix. He's pretty decent. O-line, left guard, great for the future. Right guard, to be fair, kind of declining. Right tackle, I mean, hopefully he progresses because 80 overall, 25 years old. A lot of potential, here for 4 years. Cam Robinson, likely to be replaced, maybe even by Ben Barch, perhaps. Of course, really good at finesse. Athletic enough, and of course, a massive human being, 6'6", 309 pounds. So maybe he plays left tackle in the future. I'm not sure how that would work. Maybe we move Jawan over there and Barch at right tackle, because going from interior, from guard to center to left tackle is not super easy. Not a lot of people can do that. Of course, looking at the defensive side of things, we have a future star, hopefully, in Brennan. Tufele, we're not completely giving up on yet, but man, is getting close. Of course, Fatu Kasi, I mean, one of these guys is going to be replaced by Mathis, probably next season even. Cornerbacks are good. Safeties are great. I mean, it's really D-line, 2 players, O-line. So really the trenches. That's what we got to upgrade. Another huge day for your quarterback. He's already an X-Factor, so this could be a boost. Yeah, 15K XP, that's pretty big. I just wish someone would say those words to me one day. It's pretty big. Never will. Hasn't. Won't. It's just a tragic tale. It actually looks like a tragic tale. Little rat tail. Bruh, this is busted. Like, this is just too much free XP. Wait, did we actually complete this? Oh! That's huge! Once again, please, tell me. I clicked that and I was literally about to say, why do I even ever touch that? The free XP and upgrades is just... Oh, wait, this wasn't... Yeah, we're... Okay. But they're flying. They're actually trolling, dude. Another QB breakout. What? Damn, dude. That loss might have costed us, like, who even knows? 20, 30K XP, perhaps, but... Yikes. The damn bye week came so late that I almost forgot to do re-signing Shaquille Griffin. Oh, look at the money. It's beautiful. Had an itchy nose, but that's solved. 2-year 32 for Shaquille. Aluakun, I will be giving a 2-year 47 to. A 4-year 47. Yeah, that's the one. Brandon Sheriff, a 3-year deal coming your way. That's a lie. 2-year deal. I've made a lie happen. 2-year 28. That's pretty good. I mean, that's on par with what he signed for in real life, and obviously he was a decent bit younger. Chenault, even though he's supposed to be our number 3, he does put up huge numbers, so I might actually have to pay him like a number 1 or 2. I mean, oh man, that's going to be about 15 per. A 4-year 56 for a man that's technically not supposed to be that guy, but has been. Fatu Kasi, I think we'll keep him because the defensive tackle we drafted, we're going to try to make him our pass rusher, whereas Fatu Kasi's just a pure block shedder. Same with Ben Barch. He's being paid... I mean, that's not really even center money, to be honest. A 3-year 31 to potentially play tackle for us next season. Cam Robinson, I mean, he's not bad, and that's not terrible, but I don't think so. Devon Hamilton, probably not. Sorry, pal. Chason, I mean, that's too much for a guy that just never worked out. Team turmoil. I mean, we have lost a few games, but the reports of a divide in the locker room between the offense, which has been struggling. I don't remember who we had to play, so I'm just going to say show improvement. Allow 2 or 4. I mean, that's nearly impossible. We should have just said we guarantee the win. Well, I'm not gonna touch it. Nope. Another loss? Stop! Stop the losses! These are some pretty good teams, in fair. All right. That is nuts, dude. We lost 6 games in a row. 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. Once again, very solid teams, but we can't pick up a single one. Come on. We had some top performers. Oh my, what happened to James Robinson? It's the same scheme. What is happening? Of course, maybe an X factor here. Doubt that's a dev up. It's a good season for the offense, I think. Maybe not total offense, but passing at least. The 2 edge rushers, 14 sacks each. 9.5 for the rookie Brennan. Should go to star. I don't know what happened. Like, what went wrong? The new kicker killed it. Missed 2 kicks, one of them being blocked. Didn't look at the punter, but, I mean, the punter numbers are almost always the same anyways. Kamara, who's, I mean, probably should be in jail, is the MVP. I mean, we got quarterback of the year, well, maybe not quarterback of the year, offensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and we were 8-9. I mean, sweet, man. I don't know what just happened, and I'm unimpressed. I'm not happy. But you know who deserves to be in the Super Bowl? The Giants. They lost by a lot. We did play the Titans twice at the end of the season, and they did win the Super Bowl, so I suppose they were kind of just destined to do it. Because if we would have beat them both those times, maybe even one time, they probably don't make the playoffs, but instead, they made the playoffs and then some. They won the damn Super Bowl, but great. A division rival winning the bowl. Of course, a dev up there, not really a surprise. Gets to X Factor. What is his ability? It is rack 'em up, spin cycle. Okay, I mean, that's kind of irrelevant. Look at the defensive side of things. And, a couple of dev ups, right? I think 3. One for Oluokun, we just gave a 4-year deal to, which is huge that he got to X Factor, because a 4-year on Superstar at 29 is a little iffy, to be honest, or 28 technically. And then Travon Walker with X Factor now, spinner with selfless. And then, of course, Brennan, who, I mean, that would have been a scam if he didn't get a dev up after the season he had as a rookie, defensive rookie of the year, star dev. We love it. The game does know we're in a 3-4, though, right? Because, like, his overall is way too low for a guy that is as good as he is for a 3-4 defensive end. 84 power move, 93 strength, and he's a 77 overall. Those are, like, the only 2 things that matter. And he's super athletic. But going into the offseason, still need a defensive lineman to replace Tufele. Still need multiple offensive linemen, probably. And, yeah, I mean, we're in a spot right now, though, where we're developing into one of those top-tier teams, even though we went 8-9. And we just need to kind of protect the future with players that we maybe can't afford or just don't want to pay with age. But yeah, offensive lineman, maybe 1 or 2, and defensive tackle-ish, you know, DN, DT. If there's a good corner, maybe we grab one, because, once again, we really need Shaquille to get to X Factor here. We just gave him that 2-year deal, but should still be good for a bit longer. And Tyson Campbell, I suppose, is developing slowly but surely. Yeah, left-end starter out the gate we could use. And then, yeah, I mean, we kind of went over it. DT's probably going to be our first pick. Re-signings, 57, well, new signings, free agent signings, 57 mil. I came in here a little bit early just to get an early start on it, and Tyron Smith is there. Now, that's a costly fella, right? And the center we grabbed, or center we re-signed, Ben Barch, even though he's kind of a guard, is the projected tackle, but Tyron Smith is just like a god. And if I can get him for 25 per over 2 years, I don't think that's a lost cause at all. I think that's perfectly fine. But as far as everyone else goes, no one crazy. We'll ignore that. You know, we'll just, we'll ignore the, you know, just close your eyes. I also know we're not going to get Tyron, so it was kind of a waste of time anyways, but, you know, you can dream. Wow. Really? This, I had a thought maybe was possible just because somehow, some way, we were able to get to Jawan Taylor. Damn it. And it was a close offer. Same with Tyron. I mean, it's a ton of money. It's like, we're not going to, say that it's not. Walker Little, we're going to trade him off for a 4th-round pick. He's actually not a terrible tackle prospect, but it is what it is. Left guard, solid. Center, solid. Right guard, solid. Tackle's good enough. Left tackle, solid. Draft a DT, potentially, because once again, we do have Nate Mathis, but I'm looking for more pass rushing, interior guys, but what can I really do? Tufele is, like, he's a block shedder, just like, Mathis, but at the same time, do I really draft another DT just to move someone out of the way because they can't pass rush? Probably, actually. 5th-year option, and hell to the yes. We want that option for Trevor Lawrence. Give it. And we also have Travis Etienne. Absolutely not. So for the DTs, you actually kind of have a tough decision here, as you have Felix Sullivan, who is a power move, B tackle, semi-weak, okay athleticism, defensive tackle. And then you have Stewart, who is a little bit worse looking, however, more athletic and stronger. I think with what we're looking for, Sullivan kind of just checks the boxes, and I just think it's the best call. So Sullivan's there, which he should be. That's probably where we're going to go. His tackle looks so good, too. It's a can't miss, but it'll be a can pass, I guess. I don't even know what that means here. And he is there. Felix Sullivan, a power move. Give me the juice. Hidden Dev, of course. 86 strength. Figured to be on the lower side, but that power move with hidden, that's not super common. We've seen it a few times, but it's not that common, man. But at the same time, we have talked about it before. If it's not a superstar or better, can you even really say that it's necessarily a positive? And then with this pick, we could use a corner for the future. Super athletic. Not the greatest in size because of that weight, but B catch, B press, B C zone. I'm going to grab him, hope for the best. And he's normal. Yikes. So it's pick 17 in the 3rd round, and we have this Amari Horn guy. He's 6'4", 248, 4'5", with a B finesse move. And I don't know what the B man coverage means, but we need a backup. Chaseon's gone, so Amari Horn's going to be the choice. He is normal, but 85 speed, 87 excel. He's actually, right what you want. 6'4". He's kind of the prototypical build. It's a bit of a risk for us, actually. We're going to give up 110, 117, and 95. 95 is, of course, next year for Washington, 2nd round next year, with a 6th round next year. There's not a whole lot left for us to grab, and even then, we still have a high 5th round pick. I just feel like don't really need anything for this draft remaining. Grab that 2nd round pick. Maybe you're able to use that in 2 seconds to move up high as hell for a guaranteed stud that, we potentially need. Russ Frazier, this is a guy that they actually mentioned, in the thing, but obviously he just looks awful. So, I mean, it's been seeing a lot of good AI or EA suggestions. That's not one of them. Of course, we got lucky with an undrafted projected guy earlier, last season. Of course, this guy is pure center, kind of like the guy we already have waiting, but you can never not have enough. I'm just going to stop there. I don't know what I'm about to say. 90 strength. He looks good, but we'll see how actually good he is. We're going to grab a running back that was supposed to go by now. He's 23, but he has a lot of potential. 89 speed, 90 excel. That's good enough. Of course, apparently really good catching, like an A catch, it said. We gave up our 5th round earlier for a 4th next year from the Bengals. So, I mean, we're making moves. We're grabbing players, and we're having a bit of fun. We're going to grab an undrafted projected tight end, but he's pretty fast. 83 speed. Well, he's pretty fast compared to the rest of the class, I guess I should have noted. 23, but looks like the best remaining wide receiver. Want that depth. 90 speed, 89 excel, 92 agility, good change of direction. Like I said, 23 again, but these are all backups, so I'm not really too worried about it that way. If the player is a guaranteed god, or they're just backup anyway, I don't care. If they're like 50-50 and we kind of want them to start, then no. But looking at the overalls, of course, 76 overall for this 3rd round projected, 2nd to 3rd round projected corner. Not a bad little steal, actually. And then Sullivan, let's take a look at how good he was. Okay, so usually when you have those A types, they're normal dev and they're like 87 plus power move. This guy is an A type technically, but he's an 81 power move. So I can kind of see why he has the hidden, which honestly, like I said, you get that breakout, you get that massive XP boost. I'd probably rather have like an 87 overall, 87 power move overall DT that's normal than what we got, but hey, it's still good. Still a good pick. Amari Horn, once again, potential and a good backup on both of the sides. 67 overall for the center, undrafted projection. Definitely usable, but for us, kind of a useless pick. And then the rest, we really don't want to look at, do we? We really don't want to look at. And that catching is nowhere near as good as he said it was. Let's take a look at the other DT we could have had and then kind of call it. What about, there was a DT that was higher. His name was, Bradham, pick 12, 77 overall, normal. I mean, very similar to our guy, so I suppose I'd rather have our guy. It's not really that great either way. Calvin Aldridge, I didn't even have this guy on my radar. Good balance player, a ton of traits, but not super great. Here's Stewart, also hidden development trait, 21 years old. Definitely worse, especially for what we were looking for. Please not higher than Star. Please not higher than Star. Haven't seen any crazy dev rookies yet, and nope, it is Star. So a bit of a step back last year, 8 and 9. Definitely expected to do better, but a 90 overall without, morale boosts could be our year. We should at least make the playoffs. Honestly, I'm willing to do 5 seasons, but if we don't make the playoffs this season, I'm just going to call it a failed rebuild. This is a playoff team, and if it isn't, I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, we could maybe use some help on the interior of the defensive line, but there's still talent there. Not every team can be perfect. There's no teams that can be perfect, actually, and our linebacking group is easily the best in the league, so, take it how you will. Literally ranked 2 right outside linebacker. Travon Walker, gotta be top 5. Number 6. I mean, what do you want from me? It's like a Super Bowl, that's what, damn it. Rookie focus. So it's still development trait, though, isn't it? Amari Horn. And I suppose block shed. He's more of a pass rusher, but sure. I guess making progress. I don't know. Last time we did the other one, it didn't really work out. +3 to block shed for Amari Horn. I mean, these have been earned. Like, there's no cheese in it. I haven't put on the Chiefs playbook or anything like that. These have been earned. But do we, going forward, after getting X Factor, just not do them? I mean, this is by far the most success we've ever had with these types of scenarios, so it's not like it's a common occurrence, but still, it is a lot of XP, which seems almost undeserved. Emmanuel Ogba's what? His will be active? It's negotiation times again, baby, as Christian Kirk wants a 4-year... Where have I seen this before? Oh my. We'll get to him last because some of these other guys matter so much more. Tyson Campbell, I don't think would be a great number 1, but he's a solid number 2. So, yep, solid number 2. We said it. Wow, this is a very cheap deal for Andre Sisco, but even though safeties are a dime a dozen, they're super cheap, it seems. 4-year 30 seems a little bit more fair. Anyone else? Walker Little, Tufele, Muma. I don't think any of these other guys matter enough for us to re-sign. ETN hasn't actually, I would probably look to start if I'm him on a different team. But at the same time, he hasn't really been put through much stress. He can retire with enough money in his bank to easily live comfortably and not have to worry about brain damage, I suppose. So, I don't know. Some people value that. Personally, I do as well. Of course, Christian Kirk, we did technically already pay Lawrence, if you will, because his deal won't be much more than he already, he already has because of the 5th-year option. So we should be able to afford him as well. And of course, once Tyron's gone, we don't have to pay him either. Do I even click it? It seems like cheating at this rate. But Trevor Lawrence didn't really need these breakouts. I'm kind of just want to do it just to see how good we can actually get Trevor Lawrence if he keeps getting these things. I'm just kind of curious to see what the limit is. What's the sky? I mean, that looks like he might have done it again. Did he? Okay, he didn't this time. See, it's not like it's glitch. It's just, Trevor's that guy. So we already have the division. We may already have the bye week. And I don't know if we did or not, but we won the game. 4 touchdowns with the win. I don't know if that's actually something we did. You said you didn't have the big day, and he did just that. His accuracy. I'm not going to do anything else. Give me some bonuses. For the next 2 games, I want for the next rest of his career, if you don't mind. Of course, Trevor Lawrence, number 2 on the quarterbacking list, if you've seen that quickly. But team schedule, the bye week, a huge good start of the season. We lost 2 in a row. I was like, here it is, just like last season. But man, what a year. Of course, 8 and 9 was an absolute anomaly. We should have done better, but what am I supposed to do? I can't just force wins or anything like that. Trevor Lawrence, really good season. Touchdown to pick ratio is amazing. James Robinson stole a bunch of those touchdowns as well. Really good yards per carry for him as well. Maybe gets to Superstar finally. Jackson, who's already an X Factor, would be more than an X Factor if he could. 1,000, close to 1,000. A really good season across the board from the receivers. O-line was amazing. Sack totals, Travon Walker with 21 sacks. Brennan with 12. Allen with 11. 8 for the rookie Sullivan. This team looks goated. I mean, Conley with 4 interceptions. Kicking, we only missed 1. I mean, this is a really good year. This is an amazing year. Lamar Jackson is a Cardinal. Okay, that just kind of seems pointless. Trevor Lawrence, number 3 on MVP again. Sullivan with Rookie of the Year. Sky Moore always killing in sim lately too, but okay, the bye week. Division rival Colts, they're an 86 overall. They have nothing better than us, and it's not even close. So I expect the scoreboard to kind of stick with that trend, if you don't mind. All right, going to the end of the game. Colts coming away with 3 points. They come away with 10 points. 3 points of our own, 17-3, 24-3. 24-6. Still 24-6, 24-13. Trying to make the comeback. 31-13 against the Colts. Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Nah, dude. Nah, dude. Tyler Huntley. I don't care about Jonathan Taylor rushing, well. It's Tyler Huntley. Bring the whole house. I'm done. Rebuild's over. Rebuild's over. We built a good team. Just couldn't get a Super Bowl win. What can I tell you? Jacksonville curse, I guess. You know what? To be fair, maybe they got rid of Matt Ryan right away. Maybe Huntley's actually a decent player. Maybe we'll do one more season. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Of course, appreciate the subscribers. Trying to get to 80K, maybe 100K. If you are not a new subscriber, I really appreciate you, sticking that out. Of course, the support means a ton to me. Take a quick look at some of these players as we're going to head on to another end of the video. Wow. Of course, really good power back from James Robinson. I really want to see what Trevor Lawrence is like. So, 94, 94, 94 with 94 scrambler. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Some would say that's pretty good. Christian Kirk turned out really good for us. And, yeah, I mean, the short route sucks, but everything else is pretty damn good. Chenault, even. I feel like the last time we did a Jaguars rebuild, I think it was Chark probably, we had like a trio of good receivers there as well, which is, this team's just destined to be good, I guess, at receiver. Evan Ingram, 30 years old now, very fast, catching is still sus, good route runner though. I mean, he's a threat. I don't know why I'm looking at Tyron Smith here, like, well, this no name we just developed. Matthew Jones, a finesse guy, yikes. I mean, he's a really good player, but just the wrong style for an interior guy. Let's take a look at Oluokun, who's like an 83, 84 overall to start. Insane tackle. Okay block shed, really good route. I mean, he's a smart guy. You know, his coverage and block shedding kind of sucked, though. Devin Lloyd never really... He was always just the Robin to Oluokun's Batman, but he is a very good player. Could take the torch away from him next season. He's built very similarly. It's like he literally watched everything he did and copied him. Josh Allen, he was also kind of the Robin to Travon Walker's Batman, which I like to see because, once again, Travon Walker was the worst player to start, so it wasn't just like a predetermined, well, the guy that's really high and young, he just kind of just took over. Travon was the guy that stole the show. Conley, really good coverage, good hip power and all that. Take a look at Cisco, I guess, 86 overall, super silent in this rebuild, but 92 zone coverage. I mean, really good zone coverage. The safeties developed perfectly. Like, they were literally perfectly. Shaquille Griffin, really balanced. Still good, believe it or not. Tyson Campbell, probably super man coverage compared to zone. Yeah, I mean, good enough zone, but lockdown a man with that size as well. Brennan, he's pretty new, but we'll take a quick look. 88 power. I mean, that's a really good, pass rusher on the interior. And then Sullivan developing. Oh, I was about to say developing into that. He's already that. 92 power move. We didn't get to the Super Bowl here. I want to just see, maybe we got some dev ups. It would have been kind of cool to see how we finish. But, I mean, Sure, you could do one more season and those 2 interior guys, maybe they develop more, but there's not a lot more developing going on. The Colts are just somehow glitched to win. Tyler Huntley is a 73 overall. Like, what do you want from me? And of course, I mean, they didn't dev up. The only guy that dev'd up, which was a big dev up in fairness because of his age, was Shaquille Griffin. That's just so bad. Sullivan, though, does have enough to go up. And how is that 80 power move? 92 power move is 80 power move. I'm not sure where that, like, how are you, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just, sure, I guess his awareness and play rec matter that much when his power move's 94, but regardless, that's going to be the rebuild. I already said all the things. If you guys have a team in mind you want to see next, you know, it could be an unrealistic style rebuild, could be a realistic style rebuild. Obviously, I've done a lot of the teams that have been post-draft, you know, kind of the post-draft movers, if you will, the hot teams. But there could be, you know, some under the radars. Maybe you guys want to see one more rebuild of the Packers. I don't know. You want to see the Chiefs post Tyreek Hill with MVS and no Tyrann Mathieu and whatnot. You know, Sky Moore and whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. And that's pretty much it. Probably not going to be a video tomorrow, but actually there will be. But it'll be on my second channel. I'll probably upload another GTA San Andreas video. It's been over a week and a half again. Way to go, dude. Of course, I do blame my Elgato and / capture card, whatever the fault is on it this time. You know, been kind of behind because of that, having to re-record series and videos. Love it. And then Thursday we'll be back with Nighthawks, maybe another secondary video with it perhaps. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.